Hello, thank you for joining us at Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantine Capital Advisors. We are a podcast designed to connect small businesses, not-for-profits, personal endeavors, and interesting hobbyists with the betterment of our community here in Greenville, South Carolina, because it's very important that every person gets involved in their community and knows what organizations and companies are surrounding them. Today, we brought you one of my neighbors. Tracie Frese is with Upstate International, a not-for-profit organization here in Greenville, South Carolina. And thank you for coming, Tracie.
I'm so glad to join you, Ann.
Tell us a little bit about your organization, because until you got involved with Upstate International, I didn't know much about it at all. So tell us a little bit about Upstate International.
You know, we love to reach new people because we've actually been here 25 years. It's our 25th anniversary.
Congratulations.
But we started out as a small way to help incoming international families who were moving here with industry. Mm-hmm. So help with relocation services, languages, how to navigate the school system. Mm-hmm. But today, while we still do those things, we've just grown tremendously into so much more. And really today, we focus on empowering all people, people of all nations mm-hmm. and businesses to thrive in the upstate and really to make the upstate region their home.
It amazes me when you look around Greenville, and I've lived here for decades, how much of an international presence is in Greenville. I mean, there's a lot of companies and corporations that are here that are from Germany and Japan and France, but tell us a little bit about that.
We actually have over 540 plus businesses in the upstate region alone. Mm-hmm. And I think that number is closer to like 564 these days.
Right.
But the reality is that international investment affects everyone's economic well-being here tremendously, you know. So it's important not only that we're helping support that economy, mm-hmm. But the fact that it brings such unique diversity. So we all talk about diversity and inclusion, right? But we have this opportunity for a unique, diverse community compared to a lot of our southeast neighbors. And that's because the people coming in are not only from the German businesses and the French businesses and all of that, but we have a lot of people moving in from Guatemala and Sudan and Egypt and Ireland and all these other countries. So if we look at the scope of diversity available to us mm-hmm. to learn about and to grow with, it really is unique.
Oh,
yeah.
That's amazing. What do you think your day-to-day activities look like? I know you have a lot of, and we're going to talk about some of the events and the activities that your charity works on and works with different people. But what does your job look like?
My job is different every day, and that's what makes it fascinating. So everything from helping someone who walks in the door find a resource. Yeah. So a large part of our mission is dedicated to sharing not only our resources, but those of other nonprofits. So if someone comes to us looking for a Polish grocery provider, we'll find the way to connect them. Or if they look for a translation or interpretation service, if mm-hmm. we can't do it through our own teachers and staff, then we will connect them with those who can. But beyond that, you know, putting on large cultural events such as Salsa at Sunset, having interactive membership clubs. So we have language conversation clubs, an international book club, an international women's group. So I could be working on that one day. Our World Affairs Council Upstate, which is one of our newer initiatives over the past 6 or 7 years, allows me to engage with world affairs topics. So looking at critical global issues and bringing speakers to our region so that the local community can kind of get a perspective on a topic they see in the news without having the bias in the topic. So,
Wow.
yeah, so it allows us to look at these serious issues and give people an opportunity to ask their own questions. And again, to kind of broaden mindsets and for people to know that their information is coming from as unbiased a source as we can provide to do so.
Definitely, yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. That is so interesting. All right, so tell me a little bit about the World Affairs Council.
So World Affairs Councils of America is actually a national organization, and there are World Affairs Councils in every state. And for our part, the World Affairs Council Upstate is our way of focusing on foreign affairs, foreign policy, global events, and international business. So the programming we do on those areas we call World Affairs Council Upstate. World Affairs Council Upstate has a Lunch and Learn series called Beyond the Headlines, and that's part of where those
great.
speakers come
Yeah.
in. So it's an affordable way for someone to have lunch with us and hear an expert on a topic. They're always in that series either a professor or a researcher, and hear information. Say it's a NATO update, right? You may not like everything you hear, right, your views, but you're going to get researched information with the bias out of it. And then it's in a casual atmosphere. So you hear the speaker, and then we have Q&A, question and answer discussion time for all of those. So that's one thing we do. And then also the World Affairs Council, we do cross-cultural training for business. So global fluency is what we call it. How do you work effectively and build trust across cultures for business situations? We've done, I think, 3 of those trainings now, and that's been really cool because a part of that is after the half day of training, we'll have a panel of business professionals from various countries.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so we want them to answer questions like the hard questions, right? So there's not going to be any media in there because we want those professionals to be honest. What was difficult about this particular situation and how did I overcome it, or how did I build trust with someone from these other countries?
Are you actually going into businesses and doing that kind of seminar at a business here in the upstate?
So we have done 2 that were open to anyone, any business professionals, and then we've done one specifically built for a company.
Great.
International industry here. So that is something that we do.
Awesome. And I know we were looking at Upstate International's website before this, and you guys do a lot for your community. And so a few things that really stood out to me were the relocation services, the language classes, and the clubs you offer. So could you tell us a little bit more about those? Maybe what are some unique clubs, some of the favorite clubs you offer, and kind of sets you apart in your community?
Yeah, so the clubs are a way not only to do a hobby or learn something, but they're a great way to really build friendships and relationships. So particularly that international women's group I mentioned, we have women from not only all over the international world, other countries, but also from the U.S. And some of those women have been a part of that club for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And some are young moms, so it's very diverse. But they get together once a month from September to May at our office with like a more formal program, like a speaker or a potluck, or often we'll have a performer or a learning experience. But every single week they have something else where they can join as their hobbies or their desires fit. So that could be coffee. We have a coffee every month. We have a ladies' night out every month. They have fitness hikes and walks. They have field trips. So there's ways to build these kind of relationships beyond us, right? So that's the goal.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and that's been around since we started.
Yeah.
And then for other clubs, we have an international book club. That's very popular. Those are once a month. Carolyn Wharton, who is also with the Greenville Jewish Film Festival, hosts that club for us, and they have their book list each year. They read. We have 5 conversation clubs where you can go and just practice foreign language speaking. So beyond classes, maybe you want to keep your skills sharp, or maybe you're learning and you need more conversation time. Because, right, usable language is always the trick.
Right.
So you can practice your speaking skills with a group of others interested in that. Yeah.
How do people get kind of like find out about these organizations, and how can they get involved? Is there a spot for them to check on it? Is there somebody that they have to get like pre-approved to join this group, or can they just show up one day?
So on the clubs are open to members. We do require a registration fee, but you can go try it first.
Okay.
So everyone's always welcome to try it first, see if it's a good fit. And then the registration fee covers their insurance with us for the year. We also require that membership fee if you're going to take language classes, because they're going to be there with our facility.
Okay.
But all of our other programs are open to the public. So if Salsa at Sunset, our upcoming conference, the speaker series, all of those events and initiatives are. So, but the easy way to find out about it is to go to upstateinternational.org, of course, our website. But you can also call our office, and I hope we can leave that number with the podcast.
Yeah, you can give it, and we'll also put it on the podcast in the note section on our podcast, definitely.
Awesome. Well, that's 864-631-2188. They can call there. And our office, the center, is staffed from at least 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each weekday. You can come and knock on the door and come see us.
Okay, so where are you?
Walk-in is fine. We are at 9 South Meminger Street. Now, Meminger is a funny word, so everyone should remember it. But basically, we're not very far from the Greenville Drive.
Okay.
After Main Street ends, back there downtown. And we have a 1940s building that has made a very welcoming center to come and visit. So you're welcome to stop by and find out more.
Great. Tell us a little bit about this conference you mentioned coming up. When is that? Where is it going to be held?
So the Global Upstate Conference on International Business and World Affairs. This is our second time. So we kicked off this idea a year and a half ago.
Great.
This is the second iteration. And the conference is actually just, in my opinion, fascinating, because what we're doing is we're bringing in 2 tracks of speakers, international business and world affairs, and we're bringing in speakers that our region doesn't always get to hear from. There will be topics on global trade infrastructure, supply chain, leveraging and integrating an immigrant workforce, company culture and how it impacts productivity. But on the world affairs side, we've got a Smart Girl, which is about education restrictions around the world. We've got things like that. China's economic growth, climate change and its impact to business.
Right.
So there are all these topics you can listen to and have expertise everywhere from think tanks in D.C., we have Mary Kay Magistad, who is a CNN correspondent who did a documentary on Greenland's ice melting.
Oh, wow.
We have Lawrence Wilkerson, who is coming in to talk about visionary leadership. So it's really this opportunity to meet for yourselves these speakers. And again, we'll have question and answer at every session so that people can interact on it. Beyond that, though, I'll tell you what's exciting is that the opportunity also includes our university students. So we have asked 5 universities to send students, which is going to happen. And it gives our educational, our educational engagement to really affect these future leaders, whether business or policy or other aspects of life, to come and network, to come and get excited about global careers and that type of thing. And, it's a conference that is pretty unique between Charlotte and Atlanta and being held in Greer at Greer City Events Hall and the Cannon Center.
Oh, great.
Makes it really accessible.
So when is this conference?
October 3rd and 4th.
Oh,
so it'll be,
wonderful.
2 days.
Okay.
2 days, and they can go to our website. You can either Google Global Upstate or go to upstateinternational.org to find out more information.
Fantastic. Yeah. So that's October 3rd and 4th. Yep. It's at the Cannon Center in Greer, downtown
Greer City Events Hall.
Okay. Yep. Okay. That's a good place. I've attended some things at that location. So you're doing a lot of big things. Now, are you also doing some specific stuff for certain international organizations? I thought I heard you talking one time about a Jewish international food event that was going on. Was that just you were participating in it, or was Upstate International actually involved in it?
So Upstate International, with that mission I was talking about, it's a broader mission to foster global engagement.
Right.
So one of the things we do is help smaller or other internationally related nonprofits promote all they do. So all of those organizations, whether it's the Jewish Film Festival, Hispanic Alliance, Japan America, the German Chamber, they can send us their events and initiatives, and we will promote them through all of our avenues, social media, our e-newsletter, any platform we have available. And that's because we want these individual cultural communities to not silo information, right? We all find out about things we wish we had known about last minute.
Exactly.
So, so we're trying to really just kind of broaden the horizons for all of us. But then we also partner a lot. So currently we're going to partner with Hispanic Alliance on the opening of Hispanic Heritage Month through an event together. We partner in promoting and supporting the film festival. We are starting this year for the first time, we're helping to start a Model UN for Greenville County high school students. So
that's excellent.
That's completely new to us, but we actually don't have a Model UN that any student could just come and participate. So we're in the process through actually a gentleman named Ted Morrow, who's a teacher at Greenville High, and starting that initiative. So there's many of those things that we try to help give rise to, and then they get to move on down the road.
Yeah, you support them, and it's kind of like you're raising them, and then they spurt their own wings and take off on their own. That's great.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you're celebrating 25 years for your organization. What do you see the next 25 years being? Do you see your organization, you mentioned you have a site in downtown Greenville. Do you see it growing, expanding, hiring additional people? What is your vision for the next 25 years?
Well, prior to COVID, we were really rather bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
So we were looking at possibly moving to what I consider more of an international center that could include other groups under the building, not that they would become part of us, but that we could house.
Yeah.
We have had a couple of times since I joined where smaller organizations have come to us and said, we just need a desk, right?
Yeah.
But we kind of were tapped out on space. And since COVID, we've been rebuilding our in-person programs and classes. So I would hope that well before 25 years, the idea might be to move back into that international center that we are, that has more space to facilitate easy access to more sizable venues. Like for now, for our Beyond the Headlines, the Kroc Center is gracious enough to allow us to go use meeting rooms there, right? Because we just can't house a larger gathering. But to have a room where we could not only host our larger events, but that other cultural organizations or other internationally related groups could come and use the facility easily.
Great.
I'd love one day to see the flags of different nations out front, in front of the facility, and be able to just more broadly promote the global engagement that makes us so special.
What a great vision, though. That's wonderful. I think that's a good goal of yours. I think you'll get there one day. I really do. So we have kind of like a question that we ask all our Connected by Community participants that come in, and it is, what makes you tick? What makes you happy? What brings joy to your life? What wakes you up in the morning and keeps you going?
Wow, I dream of mountains.
Wait, I thought you were scuba diving. That's the opposite.
You know what? I love nature and the out of doors. So when I need to revive myself. Stepping out into the mountains is always my go-to. But I think the other thing that makes me tick is I've always had a need to advocate. So even beyond my work life, I was a spokesperson with Sister Care. My husband and I ran a Cub Scout pack for 5 years. I think a sense of sometimes too much a sense of responsibility, but I drive to advocate for those who can't. And that makes me want to keep going, and including taking on those new foster puppies that he knows about.
Yes, Tracie has 2 awfully cute 7-week-old foster puppies. If anybody is looking for a new home, she can't keep them forever, so this cannot be a foster fail for her. So get in contact with us if you're in need of a lovable, huggable puppy.
The 2 newest members of Upstate International for sure.
Yeah.
But we would love to connect them with a good home.
Yeah.
But Upstate International is also unique in that everything we do goes back to people. So when we talk about you're welcome to come and walk in the door, we mean that. Everything was started by our original founders. We just had community members who saw this need that people were feeling lost when they moved here.
Yeah.
And they moved to fill that need. And they founded this organization. When we had our anniversary party in March, we had people who came in that had literally were just reconnecting with old friends that had known each other for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So in the end, it all goes back to building relationships, whether for work or for pleasure. And this organization, I think, really keeps that at heart. And the same with when we get to partner with these other groups. You get to know people, you make friends, and that helps sustain kind of everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for all that you do in our community and sponsoring these great events and coming in and talking about it. The Connected by Community podcast, strives to kind of like bring out things that people don't listen to very often, are not aware of within our upstate community. And you just mentioning this and talking about all the different endeavors that you have, we hope that connects people with you and connects you more to our community. So anything else you would like to add? What's a good way for people to stay in contact with you?
So people are free to email me directly anytime. It's really easy. It's Tracie, Tracie, at upstateinternational.org. They're welcome to call the center again. That's 864-631-2188, or go to our website. But we are always open to, right now, sponsors, help support this unique opportunity to engage globally. We rely very much on corporate partnerships, what we call mission partnerships, and individual members to help sustain what we do. So there's great ways to do that and to participate in all of those events.
Great. Are you on any kind of social media, Facebook?
We are.
Okay.
Yes.
Instagram?
So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming today, and thank you, Connected by Community, for listening and attending. Make sure you tune in for additional podcasts. This Connected by Community is brought to you by Ballantine Capital Advisors. Please find us and like us on all your social media presences, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Any more I need to mention, Anna?
TikTok.
TikTok. Okay, TikTok. And look for us on your favorite podcast app. Thank you so much and have a great day.